But let me ask you. You ask 10 people 10 different stories. You ask 10 people 10 things about Tupac. You get 10 different answers.
All true.
and they all true. I love that you knew where I was going. But can you tell us the different versions of Tupac you met?
Starting from how did you meet him?
Obviously, the first Tupac you met was the humble Tupac.
Of course, the first one.
The first one.
That was five minutes later.
Yeah. 5 minutes later, you said he changed. All right, cool. But yeah, let's describe these different versions of Tupac.
You know, I always tell people, because the myth or what I always hear is like, oh man, because remember when Juice came out, he played the character,
right?
And he's like, it's like, oh, Pac is, you know, he's starting to feel himself.
Yeah, like he became Bishop.
He really think he's Bishop, but I'm like, he was wilder than Bishop before that. He actually, by the time y'all knew who he was, he had calmed down. Because he was just a wild nigga out the Ren City, out the jungles, you know, the little projects or whatever. And he ain't had shit, so he was going for it.
So you was there when Digital hooked up with Fox?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, can you describe
that? So he was in a group called Strictly Dope.
Okay.
With Ray Love and DJ Dizzy. They signed...
Local Bay Area, right?
Yeah, Bay Area. Ray Love actually had a solo career as well. So, excuse me, they were managed by Layla Steinberg. She knew H. and Gregory, who was our manager, and we were signed to TNT Records, his label. And he was like, well, I need you guys to hear this group. You know, Shock had heard Pac in the studio before, but then to hear the whole group, we all had to go meet.
What year is this around?
This is like 89, 88, 89. Right.
So you guys already got records out?
No. We had Do What You Like out. But all around that time when we were shooting the video, they were around. You know, so they basically had to audition for us out in the streets, all three of them rapping. And, you know, when I first heard them, I thought that Ray and Pac were equally talented MCs. I thought they were cool. But it was just Pac's personality was, you know, if you in the room
from the first day you met him,
he consumed the room. Right. You know, he just had that much charisma or personality, whatever you want to call it. He had that thing about him, like you paid attention to him, and he made sure you paid attention to him. But as you know, as we got to know him and really, because we were the same age, you know, I'm like a year older. We were the closest in age. So when he would come to Oakland to record or do whatever, you know, I had the crib that was on the block. You know, I'm in the thick of it, and I got the turntables in the room, and you know, the 4-track tape. I got the Run DMC pictures on the wall and shit like that. And chicks coming by. I got the 40s. So
this
he liked to hang
Oakland
out.
Right here.
He liked to hang out where I was at, so he'd always come through. And then you know, you get to learn him for real. He didn't have much, so respect was everything. Right. So he wasn't taking any, you know, he wasn't having it. Right. And he would do whatever to make sure that you respected him from the jump. You know what I mean? But he was also very intelligent. You feel me? You know, I even say it in a rhyme. There's a song I did, Still Thuggin', with Mac Mall and Yuck Mouth, right? No, it's Ambitions on the Still Thuggin' album. But I say, these youngsters with the tats on their belly for the look, I said, if you really want to be like Pac, read a book. Because he was he would read. He wrote poetry. He was well read.
You want to be like Pac, read a book, nigga.
He studied. You know, he strategized and planned things out all the time.
And he was a Gemini too, right?
Yeah, June Gemini. I always got it.
Yeah, he'll flip on you quick though.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I mean, you know,
Oh, and he can freestyle like a motherfucker.
Oh yeah?
Oh man.
So but that's I always said that. Like, there's different versions of Geminis, obviously. And people have different, but the most unique part is when you are all of them. Like to me, I believe when Pac said Brenda had a baby. Like, I believed him. I believed his feeling, but I also believe, I wonder why you called him bitch.
Yeah, I mean, but
they were all his truths.
But he wore everything on his sleeve. He let you know however he felt that day. But we all feel like that. Right. You know, if you walk out and a cop pull up on you and harass you, you want to fuck the police.
Right.
As soon as you leave that cop, you see a fat ass, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
How you want it.
Yeah, tell me how you want it. You can make all the records in the same day.
Right. But all right, so and I know you might not be able to answer this, but maybe you can.
I don't know.
When was the time? Because it was like when I'm looking at what was the same gang?
All in the same gang.
All in the same gang. The Pop was on, right?
No, he's not. No,
he's not on that.
No, he's not on that one.
Same
what
song.
was the one?
Same song.
Same song.
Yeah.
I'm confused. When you look at that Pop, you got the Afrocentric. I think he got a bone in his nose. He got like it's like to see that Pop. Did you meet the Death Row Tupac?
I never was around Death Row, but I spoke to Pop several times, and I saw him. The last time I actually saw him was after All Eyes on Me had come out.
Okay.
But
the album,
I would hear stories, but I never spent any time actually in that environment.
All right.
So I couldn't tell you no Death Row shit.
Yeah. So you definitely, because
you guys purposely stayed away from each other at that time.
No, I mean I remember one time he said come down, they shooting some videos, right? And it ended up being America's Most Wanted and
with Snoop.
How Do You Want It? They did them 2 days in a row. But when he said come down to LA, I had heard stories that it wasn't a great environment, right? And also, I knew that, I'm not really a jump up and follow type guy, but I know that in that environment, if something happened and somebody go woo woo or something, he got to go with the gang or whatever the fuck. And I'm just not. That's not my.
Was you surprised of like I said, the first person you met, for the first first kind of person you met, then to the person that he became? Because, like you said he always was real. But it was like excessive at this point.
Well,
I mean, that evolution seemed like it was kind of going a little bit in that direction.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I always knew. Like I remember in the early days when Pac was just moving with us, certain situations would happen, and he wanted to do something, right? And if we didn't want to do it, he's like, man, fuck that. Like when I get my own shit, motherfuckers gonna follow me. They gonna do what I want to do, and he used to go off like that. So I knew once he got that power to do, and he had people that would follow him and do whatever, he was gonna use it because he wanted to from the beginning. I mean, as we all, I guess, would, but I don't know.
What did Ice-T say? Ice-T said, money don't change you, it makes you more who you are.
It has to who you are.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just
good or for bad.
I don't think that Pop turned into this super thug overnight or because he was with Death Row. He was a person. You know what I mean? And I think that if he just got out of jail, right, and it's hard to trust people. He don't know what's what because he went to jail on some bullshit. In my opinion. And from what we know.
Apparently his time in there wasn't. Anything
and
good.
He just moved different. And I don't know what circumstances and situations would change any person. Your experiences make you who you are. So I don't know what that was.
Did Shock talk to him? I know you said you didn't really deal with him much Death Row days, but was Shock G dealing with him at all?
I don't know.
I had an eerie, I don't want to say eerie conversation, but I had a conversation with Shock during I believe it was How Can I Be Down conference. And I can't remember, man, I wish I could remember everything we spoke about. All I know is that he was trying to explain away the Pac's behavior in terms of what Death Row had created, like how he evolved through
But
Death
here's
Row.
the thing. People act like, Death Row was this thing, but he was only on death row for 9 months.
Yeah, but in 9 months, I can't lie to you.
But in terms of his career and his life, very short.
I agree with you. I 1,000,000% agree with you. But that 9 months felt like 9 years,
yeah,
though.
people focus on it, right? But it was only 9 months.
Yeah, no, that's fucking.
It's like,
but it's 90 proof. You know, it's like it was the most concentrated, maybe.
It was concentrated, but okay, so perfect example. Here's a story, and this will explain like it didn't change much.
Okay.
I remember when we did Juice. We auditioned for Juice, right? So
all of y'all auditioned for Juice?
Yeah, tell about that.
Well,
you gotta get into these details.
You trying to say this man nonchalant? Yeah, Juice. Come on,
no. But the original, like, I was the one that was called to really. They wanted me to audition, like, because we was with Carol Lewis.
What?
William Morris,
audition for what role?
For Steel. The one at the
Smoke crack, don't you? From Lead on Me.
Yeah.
See,
that role. So that was the role.
This nigga was supposed to be cooking the eggs, pouring the
food.
So I got the script to audition, right? And but I knew I couldn't act, and I knew that Pac had went to school for it. So first I was asking him to help me prepare for it. But as I'm reading the script, I'm like, this nigga remind me of you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so, you know, we
Is that a compliment?
I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
But I also knew that he could pull it off.
Right.
So we get to talking about, you know, let's see if we can get Pac to audition for it.
Right.
And Adrian, who was our manager, he pulled some strings, he hooked it up. So we went there, but also Tretch was auditioning for
Bishop too.
No,
No?
the other one, Q. Is that his name?
Yeah, Q.
The
Q.
one that
DJ.
Omar Epps played.
The DJ,
Oh, yeah. Q.
So I always call my DJ that.
So-
When I heard his feelings, I call him Q.
GQ.
Because he's local.
Yeah,
You know
so-
what I'm saying? I call my DJ that. DJ Butch
So
Rock, local.
the dream was I was gonna be Steel, Pac was gonna be Bishop, and Tretch was gonna be Q. Like we was all
that'd
gonna be
been
in the
the
movie
L
together,
Right.
right? But we get up there, I'd go in the room, crickets, fuck it up.
Right.
Oh, you tried. You really
I tried. I knew I wasn't gonna get it. And then I come out, Pac goes in the room, he auditions, and then you just hear clapping and cheering and shit.
Right.
And he come out, he's like, man, I think they like me. I was like, nigga, you got this shit. And I don't know what happened with Tretch.
Right. Well, he still made it to the movie.
Yeah, he was in the movie because he was there. Pac pulled every. If you was Pac's friend, he was pulling you into that movie.
Just
And
like
he was
you
in the New
pulled
York
Pocket.
area. Yeah,
Just like you pulled
yeah.
Pocket.
If you was in it, so the story is, I know I'm talking long.
No.
After we leave the audition, because they dropped us off, we had to catch a cab back down to our hotel. We was in Manhattan or whatever. So we're in the cab, and somehow it was with me, Tretch, and Tupac, and the cab niggas talking shit, right? I don't know what happened. By the time we get close to the thing, Tretch and Pac pull the cab driver and start beating the shit out of him, just whooping his ass. And I'm like, I don't want none of that, right? I was like, y'all crazy. And I'll go, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
he was there anyway.
He was already Bishop.
Yeah, he was already ready,
It wasn't that
whatever.
He turned into Bishop.
Yeah,
How
so
we
what I'm
might think
saying
it was.
is, now he's with